Well, it sounds like it's got a lot of excitement. I personally love the musical element of it because as a musician myself, that interested me. But I also know that the series poses the question of faith and purpose. And, Leigh-Allyn, surely in Charlie Kirk's ultimately his untimely death, but his ultimate faith have had to have renewed purpose in many, many people. How has the idea of purpose been on your mind in these past few weeks? And how would you say that that subject is handled in a week away?
I think, purpose for me really started to drive home with the tyrannical mandates of COVID and the world really being in an upheaval. I really started to wake up to this is my life, and I don't want to just do television series. I want to leave this world better than I found it for my kids and the generation that watched me on Good Luck Charlie. Gen Z is very important to me and close to my heart. Every time I see them, they say, you raised me, and it's such a gift and a compliment. And so I want to really be here to encourage that generation. And then Charlie, who was just the brilliant voice of an entire movement of not just faith, but of family and of freedom. And Charlie was such a genius and such a polite genius to invite conversation so that violence could hopefully be thwarted by communication. That was his gift, right? And so I do feel that I'm going to take that on. When Charlie was shot, my kids first said to me, "We're scared. We don't want you to go on any more campus tours." And I just took a deep breath. And even though my body was shaking, I told them, "I'm not here to raise cowards. I'm here to raise lions. And you guys need to know how to speak up for truth no matter what." So I feel
Yeah,
that
and
this musical, I feel that this musical really pushes faith, and the questions that we all have about it, and the dilemmas and the faults that we all go through as human beings, and that there's a God who loves us and is there for us. And it's just a message that is so beautifully told.
It's so interesting, I think, Leigh-Allyn, too. I know that you were at Turning Point's event recently, and I was there as well, and it's just kind of hard to think about it in that respect. When we think about purpose and faith and the calling that we have, this notion of revival obviously is happening in this country right now. People watching that memorial and coming to know Jesus and coming to know Christ. It's also interesting that a week away happens to be streaming right now and kind of answering this question. So within the context of the plot, how do you think Gen Z and younger people will come to know their sense of purpose and faith through this series, would you say?
I want people in Gen Z to know, I want you kids to know that this show, it shows the imperfection and the perfection, the imperfection in religion, the perfection in Jesus Christ. And it really, I think, will bend more knees and answer more questions. And it does it in a way that is so palatable to Gen Z that I encourage every single one of them to take comfort in this musical for such a time as this, truly.
Absolutely.